But it almost always takes one person to give voice to these things. And for us in Boston, for those of you in the United States, you may recognize Big Papi, David Ortiz from the Boston Red Sox, who got up and told everybody that this is our freaking city. And he expressed what everyone felt, that we, the city of Boston, had been attacked, not the Marathon, not the Boston Athletic Association, Boston, Massachusetts, freedom. Spoke eloquently, if somewhat profanely, for everybody. So with all of that, against that context of knowing that there are people that are prepared or engaged, now you're the leader. What do you do? There are 1,000 things that could happen. There are lots of people who are in your face saying, we have to do this, we have to do that. And sometimes the most important thing is to stop and think, what's the most important problem I have to solve? What's the biggest deal we're facing? Very often, it's awfully distracting to look to the things that are right in front of you. And often those are not the most important things. So for us in Boston, for me, I look back in our sport of track and field for a little inspiration as to how to make sure one is focusing on the right problem. Anybody know who that is? Who's that? Fosbury, Dick Fosbury, who perfected the what? The flop, the Fosbury flop. Dick Fosbury was a high jumper for the United States in the 1960s. And he really wanted to be the best in the world. He wanted to contend for an Olympic gold medal. And in those days, the great high jumpers in the world, John Thomas from Boston, Valery Brumel, and Robert Shavalakadze from the Soviet Union, knew what to do. They ran up to the bar, and they would jump up and put their lead leg over and roll over the bar. And they got as high as Valery Brumel did, 7 feet 5 inches rolling over the bar. Dick Fosbury couldn't do it. It was very troublesome for him because that was his aspiration. He sat down one day and thought about it. He thought, what am I really trying to do? Am I trying to roll over a bar better than everyone else? Not really. He wanted to fly over the bar. He needed to fly. And he thought, well, what's a good inspiration for that? Who's the only person I know who can fly? Superman. Right? Superman didn't run out of the telephone booth and roll up into the air. He flew up into the air. And so that's what Dick Fosbury did. He said, you know what, I'm going to do that. And he threw his arms up in the air, and it turned out that going over with his back closest to the bar was the best way. But he figured out exactly the problem he wanted to solve and did it. Set the world record, won the Olympic gold medal. A good inspiration for us. Another one, as you have spoken here about women in leadership roles, women who redefine what happens. This is a picture of Joan Benoit in 1984, Joan Samuelson now, at the Olympic Marathon, the first Olympic marathon that was held for women. And everybody knew how you won a marathon in those days. You got in a pack of people, and you ran along for a really long way, and then somewhere near the end, people would burst and try to win that race. A baby Bacchila in 1960 in the dark in Rome with bare feet would break away from the pack in the gloom of Rome and win the race, and that was how you did it. But for Joan, she knew that she wasn't going to beat anybody in a sprint, but she could keep going for a long time. So when the pack got to 10 kilometers, she looked around and saw the world record holder, the next fastest person there, and thought, you know what, if I run with them, I don't have a chance. The heck with it. See you later, folks. I'm going. And off she went. Broke away from the pack at 10 kilometers. That's 10 out of 42 kilometers, and never looked back. And ran into that Olympic Stadium in Los Angeles and onto the track with nobody else there and won the gold medal. And in doing so, redefined how it is that one wins a marathon. Redefined her sport by focusing on the problem that she had to solve, which was not playing the marathon game the way everybody else did. It was winning the race.